And Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild has got their stuff together. I'm gonna brag on you guys for a minute.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you are going to get every single bit of your $15 worth in this production. All right, welcome to episode 49 of Yellow Colored Glasses. We have a second time guest. You guys have been here twice now. Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild. We have Don Donovan and Susanna Wheeler, and they have some very exciting updates for us regarding the Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild and everything that they're up to now. But before we get started on that, we are going to need to do a peek and a pit for our week. This is a new thing. I don't know if we were doing this the last time you were here.
No.
So peak just meaning just the highlight of your week, and a pit meaning just the low. You might not have a pit, might not have a low point of your week, or you might have a few, and you can choose from your options. But I'll go first with my peak. My peak has actually been practicing for Little Shop of Horrors. That's been super fun. It's taken me back to like the high school version of myself that just really enjoyed being a part of production. So that's been a plus. I've liked the collaborative part of that, and just getting to sing again has been fun. So how about you? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
My peak would be checking things off of the list of things to do for the set for Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, it is coming together very nicely.
Thank you.
Very good.
And I would say that would be, my peak would be just seeing the set all starting to really come together. And, obviously last night we ran the entire show. Mm-hmm. It ran pretty smoothly for, the first time through. And I would say that would be my peak of the week.
Your peak, okay. My pit is one song in particular in the rehearsal rundown. I think if I could get the hang of The Meek Shall Inherit, that would be the most amazing thing. But so far, that's not happening. So that's definitely my pit. I get frustrated every single time. So
does your daughter.
So does my daughter, yes, who is the musical director for this this production. So yeah, it's a doozy. So how about you guys?
My pit would be that my list is still long. Stuff that
it's probably growing.
Every time she checks something off the list, I put like 2 or 3 more things.
So it's
on
your
the
fault.
List.
It is
my
it's
fault.
Dawn's
actually.
fault. So Dawn is ultimately the pit.
I am the pit.
I'm not going to say that.
I am the pit.
All right, Dawn, your turn.
Well, I would say my pit is probably, there's certain things like, on at the show that I really would like to see come together, a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So I would say that, that's probably my pit, and it has nothing to do with the set.
No, you're not going to throw Susanna under the bus.
No.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like a lot of it is we haven't really had too many practices with the entire cast.
That's true.
So as we continue on, that stuff's going to get
better.
Absolutely.
A little bit. Well, it is so nice to have you guys back here again, because last time you were here, you were just introducing the concept of this as something you're going to have auditions for, and it was going to be coming up in the future, and now here we are at this future time. The performance of Little Shop of Horrors is just like a week away, a little over a week away. I just made her eye twitch.
The 21st and the 22nd.
Yes. And now, so briefly, for anybody who has not watched the first episode, kind of tell us what Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild is all about, just kind of like condensed version, and then we'll go into talking more about the production that's coming up.
Would you like to?
Go
Okay.
ahead,
Well,
Mr. President.
Susanna was actually our founding president of the Theatrical Guild, and we're basically a community theater group that we do different stage plays and other community events.
Right.
In April, we had our adult prom, which was actually the fundraiser for Little Shop of Horrors.
Which was a huge success. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that had happened before the
No,
last.
I think we were still
Yeah.
advertising and trying to get the word out about the adult prom.
So it's safe to say it's probably going to happen again in the future at some point since
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so successful. Okay. Don't let me
Yeah.
interrupt
No,
you. I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. So this year's kind of been a special year for us. It's our the first time we've done the adult prom. We're getting like a well-known musical. And we've had our first younger musical director, and who also actually got we started our scholarship program.
So cool.
She was the recipient of that as well. And so there's a lot of different things that we have going on this year.
Yeah.
And it's really been a tight schedule for us lately as well, because not only are we trying to get everything finalized for Little Shop of Horrors, which is going to be July 21st and 22nd, but then we're jumping right into our next production, which is going to be Steel Magnolias in September, and we're actually going to perform that at the People's Theater.
Which is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
That's such a great venue to have something like that.
Yeah. And Suzanne is actually going to be the director for that.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's so, I'm learning all kinds of new things here. I'm getting the scoop. Yeah, well, and you guys, so it's year round. You guys just never stop. You've always got something going on, whether it's a fundraiser or a play or a musical or a murder mystery event, all kinds of things happening. So it's really, if anybody who is listening or watching is in Pleasant Hill or the surrounding areas, you can jump in at any point in the year. There's not like, oh, I missed auditions in January, so I can't.
Right.
You can get involved at any time.
Yeah, because right after Steel Magnolias happens, we're going to be right into our Christmas production, which is going to be Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm excited for all of the upcoming plays because they're well known. Most people are familiar with the stories, or even if they haven't seen the stage production of it, they might have seen the movie, something like that.
Right.
So it's going to be really, really fun. And I have been so super impressed. So I guess the last time you guys were here, my daughter, who is the musical director for this production, was also on the podcast, and you guys were trying to peer pressure me into auditioning for this particular
Best thing we have ever did.
I mean, I don't know about peer pressure, but yeah.
But
Well, I mean,
it
in
ended
all
up
fairness,
working.
Michaela did help.
She
Yeah,
did help.
absolutely.
Michaela was in on the peer pressure.
And now she better be there to see it.
I think she's planning on
Okay.
it. I think she's planning on it. So yeah, fast forward a few weeks, months, I don't remember how much time passed, but I was at home and I'd been super busy. My daughter was a senior this year, so there's just stuff,
Yep.
so is your daughter. Well, just stuff all the time, week after week after week, and the auditions were approaching, and I just didn't have time to put anything that I felt good about together, and I was like, well, maybe I'll catch the next one. And then I get a call from my daughter, and she's like, you need to audition, and I want you to audition. I'm like, oh, it's so hard to say no to her. She's going off to college in August, so
Right.
when she asked me to do something, I feel like I need to comply. So I did go try out and ended up getting cast in the musical, and it has been the most fun thing I've done, I think, in my adult life. Just, it's so much fun because I'm getting to do something that I love to do just for the sheer sake of the fun of it.
And you're fabulous at
Thank you.
your part.
Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous.
I find now that I can, like, even more so than when I was in high school, I can just embrace the part and get lost in it and not care whether I'm making a fool out of myself.
Yep.
And it is clear that you are having a fantastic time doing it.
I'm having so much fun. So much fun. And I can't wait till we get to add the costumes and all of that fun stuff, just put it all together. That's going to be even more fun. The most fun part about it is getting to sing with people that I'm friends with too. That's so, again, if you're thinking about getting involved in community theater, just do it. Just jump in with both. You might think that you're not qualified enough, you're not going to be good. It's been, everybody that has been a part of this production has been so warm and welcoming and encouraging, and there's nothing to be scared of, because once you're in it, you're just having so much fun, you're not even thinking about, am I making a fool of myself anymore?
And I think with each production that we've done, we've gotten someone new or someone that hasn't been involved before involved. And I think every single one that we've done, there's been somebody new that is like, this is so cool. Like I really like doing this. And they may come back for the next one. They may sit one out and come back. But it's been great to see just the range of people that have
absolutely
come in.
And it's cool to get to be surprised by the talent of people that you've seen in the grocery store or picking up your kids at school, and you had no idea. You're like, where did this come from? Oh my goodness. That's fun. There's a lot of talent in Pleasant Hill here. I can speak to that. And so if you're thinking about going to this production, just buy the ticket, just do it, because I think you will be pleasantly surprised with the level of talent that you're going to see showcased in a community theater.
There's been multiple times when we've had practice and a person singing their solo, and I'm just watching them and I just feel the goosebumps on my arm. I'm like, it's incredible. Sure. It's people that you wouldn't even have thought that we're going to be able to sing like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Such a fun surprise. So I was going to bring up also, so if you are listening to the podcast, thinking about coming, we have something fun that you guys are doing leading up to the production. You have created a traveling Audrey, which looks like Audrey is a gigantic fly trap. Audrey 2, sorry. Audrey 2. Dang it, I should know these things. So, an
it's
Audrey 2. It's a
very strange and unusual plant.
It's a very strange and unusual plant with a very exponential growth curve. So, if you see a large, looks like a Venus flytrap with fangs, like very large fangs, just around town, make sure you take a picture of yourself with it, with the hashtag. What was the hashtag?
I found Audrey.
I found Audrey. Not I found Audrey too.
I didn't do it.
Oh man. So she corrected me.
See how that works?
With the hashtag I found Audrey. Post your photo on Facebook. And we're trying to just create some excitement as the performance gets closer. So, and I think my niece found it when it was at the new coffee shop here in town. Yeah. So she was very excited to find the Audrey 2. But if you think that Audrey 2 is cool, the puppets that are used in this production are like next level. I cannot even get over it. Like, it takes 2 whole people to operate one of the puppets.
Right.
It's insane. I don't know. I'm very, very excited about this. What about, speaking of tickets, while we're still on this production, where can people go to get tickets, and will tickets be available same day?
Tickets are always available at the door.
Okay.
But the
cash only, or do you take cards?
No, we take credit cards as well.
Okay.
Cash, check, or cards. And the tickets online can be purchased at phtg.org. Okay. If you scroll down to where our different events are, you'll see that there's 3 different shows for Little Shop of Horrors. There's a 7 o'clock show on the 21st.
Yep.
There's a 2 o'clock show on the 22nd, and also a 7 o'clock show on the 22nd.
And these performances will be at the Pleasant Hill United Methodist Church.
Correct.
Parking is free.
Yep.
Yeah, and like you said, if you haven't been able to buy tickets or are not sure if you're going to be able to make it and don't want to buy your tickets in advance, you can buy tickets at the door, cash or card. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I wanted to mention with this particular play. We got location, times. How much are tickets?
Tickets would be $15.
$15. Okay, so $15 should be prepared if you're going to pay for tickets at the door. $15 per ticket, and there's no child price. It's just like same cost for everybody.
Yeah,
It's okay.
The thing about it is Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
So
you had to pay for the licensing.
Right, but you
not really a kid show.
Right.
True.
So
True. Yeah.
and that's part of that too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a plant that
It does.
eat people.
It's spoiler alert. It eats people.
Yeah.
But it's not graphic or anything.
Right.
So if you're thinking, I mean, if you have a sensitive person, it might be maybe not one to bring your 5 or under child to, maybe. But
Right.
I mean.
It is a puppet, so
It is a puppet.
Maybe the kids would enjoy that.
Yeah, that's true. I keep forgetting that it's a plant that eats people, but that is true. It is a plant that eats people, so use your own judgment with your children.
With bringing your children.
Yes, that's true. Okay, well I'm excited. We've got like a week and a half, and I think 5 official practices before the performance. Scheduled practices. Yeah. There may be other ones tossed in there here and there. And then we will be at the Cass County Parade this weekend. I don't know if the podcast will come out before then, but we're going to be making an appearance there on a float.
Yep. And I'm sure the Audrey 2 will be there as well.
Yes, but the Audrey 2 that will not be eating people, not during the parade. We'll make sure Audrey 2 is fed adequately prior to the parade so that no bystanders are harmed. Do you want to talk about any of your upcoming projects, like Steel Magnolias, or those? Now, all of those parts have already been has been cast. But when will you be casting for the Christmas play?
So that's probably going to happen like in September, I would think, or like the end of August, beginning of September.
And you'll probably announce that like on Facebook, and and if anybody is visiting your website, they would see those updates as well.
Right, yeah, because
phtg.org.
At pht.org, that's where we post the announcements, and you can go to that site and sign up for auditions and things like that as well.
Now, are you planning to use the People's Theater downtown here in Pleasant Hill more frequently, or is this just kind of a special thing for Steel Magnolias?
Well, for me, this is the trial run. Right?
Yeah.
So
see how it goes.
How it goes, and make sure that it's a good fit for both of us.
Yeah.
Because obviously
set building is a huge thing.
Right.
And their stage is small.
Yes. Well, and one thing I didn't realize until starting to come to the practices and seeing how the set for this production is taking shape, week after week, you have to kind of build it on the stage. You have to have an extended amount of time where you have the stage to yourself. And so for a theater who might want to be renting out.
Yeah, and they have stuff every weekend.
Yes, I didn't think about that but as we're talking through this, that makes sense.
Yeah, so for the Steel Magnolias set, we're actually going to have to build the set somewhere else, practice there, and then the week before bring everything to the People's Theater and reset it up.
You guys, the work that goes into this is incredible to me.
Yeah, the set for Little Shop of Horrors is pretty extensive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There are retractable walls. There are passageways that, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because I'm in it. Every week I show up and there's something new that's been added or painted, and there's so much detail that goes into it that I'm blown away. It's like I had forgotten how much goes into putting on a production. Like every step of a production like this is an art form, whether it's the singing or the acting or the directing or all the little musical cues that have to be attended to. But then on top of that, every prop has to be accounted for and obtained and make sense, and every little detail of the set not only has to go with the story, but it has to work for the space that you are using. And so it is just this whole thing that, I had just forgotten how big of a production it is to put on something like this. So and Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild has got their stuff together. I'm gonna brag on you guys for a minute.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you are going to get every single bit of your $15 worth in this production. Will there be a missed line here or there? Probably, because we're human beings. It's a live theater.
Right.
I was talking over this actually with my fiance. We were watching the version that's on HBO Max right now, I think, with Rick Moranis as Seymour, and very well done, love it. But I was telling him like how hard this is to do live, because you don't get to record the audio first and then just dance to the music.
Right.
You have to remember your lyrics and your choreography and do it all at the same time and make it look like you're not struggling to remember everything at the same time. And some of these songs have dialogue on top of music that the music never stops. You just have to get the timing right before you start singing your song without too much time left over or not enough time. It's crazy.
Well, and then even some of the songs, there's some people that are singing and doing something completely different than what and you have to stay focused with like, hey, this is what I'm singing, this is what I'm doing, and they need to just do their own thing over there too.
It's been challenging for my 42-year-old brain, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean it's a different story when you're young and you can just absorb everything very quickly. And
right. There's a lot of space being taken up in here by a lot of different things now.
Well, you're doing a very good job. Like, we can't tell that you're not that you're struggling to remember anything.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Sometimes it's like I'm sitting there like, oh gosh, I know my line's coming up soon. What is it? And then it just pops in there right at the right time. So apparently that's working for me. I'm like, just act like you know what you're doing.
Well, and that's the whole thing, right? You're as long as you can act
like
the part.
Yeah, get some of it right. Okay, well, do you guys know what the the next one's going to be in the spring? No hints, no spoilers?
We usually do that planning.
It is a long ways away.
That's usually after Christmas. We start planning for the next year.
Yeah.
Sometimes before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we usually once we start getting the Christmas production going, then we can say, okay, what are we going to do next?
Yeah. Yeah, I may have been jumping the gun. I'm just very excited about knowing what's happening.
Our biggest thing for next year is going to be our venue for our murder mystery, because we would normally do it at the Wyoming Street Wine Stop, which has now sold. So,
finding a place to do that.
Getting that venue lined out for our murder mystery is going to be our first
order of business.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, this is very exciting stuff. I think that's all I have for this. Do you guys have any other things you want to mention?
No, I mean, if people just keep visiting phtg.org or get us on Facebook at Pleasant Hill Theatrical Guild, we'll have the tickets are available for Little Shop of Horrors for July 21st and 22nd. Tickets will be available shortly for Steel Magnolias, which is September 22nd and 23rd.
Correct.
And then, auditions for Miracle on 34th Street will be up there as well. And
which there's even more roles available in that, and some kid roles too.
Right.
And I think we mentioned this in the last podcast too, but if you're not a performer but you still want to be involved, I'm sure you could always use help with set construction, set design, lighting, technicians.
Yeah, lights, mics, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Backstage.
Yeah, backstage prop,
Yep.
collection or whatever that's called. I don't know. I don't know the terms. I need to brush up on all my theater stuff. But yeah, and again, if you don't want to do that or can't do any of that but would still like to contribute, you can give financially. It's a nonprofit, so you can visit the website phtg.org and give that way if you'd like to support the arts but just don't like to be in the mix of it, then that's fine too. And you can also support by buying tickets and coming and seeing the shows. So very exciting stuff. So yes, July 21st and 22nd, we hope to see you there. And if you're one of my Facebook friends, I'll probably be annoying with the ticket link. So you should have many opportunities to be able to purchase tickets. I'll just probably daily post that. So
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming and talking
Thanks
to
for
us
having
again.
us again.
Having us.
Yeah, and I will see you all at practice tomorrow. So
Okay.
okay.
Sounds great.
All right, and that's a wrap.